Improving Britain has got talent. Yeah, definitely proving they got talent. And I told you all the other day that if this young lad comes in and gets him points, and I just said top 10, I just said the 10th. If he can just secure the 10th point, 10th position point, I was going to give him. But bro came in and did 7th in the race, bringing home solid points to Ferrari in the absence of Carlos. I do want to say it, but I don't want it to be taken out of context. But coming from another team and doing what he just did, I have to say this. I honestly have to say that Ollie Burman has just put more pressure on Logan Sargent. And why do I say this? I say this because Logan Sargent was already under pressure giving a inflated rookie class type situation, right? Red Bull, AlphaTauri, RB, Visa Cash App, they had Liam come in, did a nice job, solid job. First time up. You know what I'm talking? Jesse James Bell says, hello, Brother Jay. All the mods and everyone miss y'all. I'm so done with Mercedes. Man, we're going to talk about it. We going to talk about it, bro. We got to talk about it, brother. It's so good to see you, Big Time Navy. Hoorah. We're going to talk about it, man. We're talking about Burman right now, and I told you I was going to give bro his props. But this does put some pressure on Logan Sargent. Here it is again, right? We got Ollie Burman coming in out of F2 into the car in free practice. Didn't even get a full free practice. And then Quali comes in. Doesn't go as far as, but he still does good. And then what happens? Bro comes into this race and drives like a fucking stud, man. Drives like a stud. Ollie Burman is driving like he's not afraid to be himself in a situation that is very sensitive. It's very sensitive. Fred Vasseur was already reported to tell him, don't be a hero. And in code word, in so many ways, that's saying, don't take risk that you would otherwise take if this was your seat. Not even don't take risk if they're not needed. Don't take the risk because it's really not your position. Paul says, great drive, Ollie. The battle in the middle is where it is exciting. Peace and love, man. I'm trying to tell you. I got to give him props. I got to give the young bro props. He did that thing, man. He did that. 7th in position. Ollie Burman is my driver of the day. He is my driver of the day, hands down. Hands down, my driver of the day. Comes in under a lot of pressure. You know what I'm saying? Under a lot of pressure is his rookie debut in Formula One. He's got to go back to F2, but he's here now. So on both sides of the fence, you go back to F2, they're like, bro, you shit the bed when you went up there. You might be all right down here, but we seen you up there, bro. You didn't look so hot. He's going to go back a point scorer, one of the youngest point scorer in Formula One. And he did it with Ferrari. That's pressure. You with the Scarlet Red team, that's pressure. You at Jeddah, high-speed circuit, that's pressure. You taking Carlos Sainz's position, teammate to Charles, that's not as much pressure, but it's some pressure. And he performed. He stood tall. Galacticus says, that's how you show up. Good job, Oliver. Merc Boo, I know, man. Merc Boo. Racer X210, woo, Ferrari podium. Burman did his thing with only 1 hour of seat time. If Carlos is not back for the next race, I want to see what Burman can do over an entire weekend. That's what I'm saying, bro. Burman, you my driver of the day, bro. You the Wolfpack driver of the day. I'm giving you all credit and props for what you pulled off today. 7th place, solid. Derwin Hill coming in the super chat saying, Norris not getting penalty for jumping, but they want to give K-Mac 20 seconds. I call bullshit. Man, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, because that's right here on my notes, bro. Right here on my notes. Can somebody please explain to me Mary Beanie says, word to the wise Papa Stroll, your boy is Felipe. Hey, that's on my notes too. That's on my notes too, Mary. Wolfpack fam, we thinking the same thing. These things are on my notes. I just have to ask something. First, let's cover this other thing. Let's cover this. Gasly, Alpine. I understand Anthony Joshua got a win against Francis. Okay, cool, whatever. Hunter says, lovely Lando casually jumpstart and weaves on the straight. FIA, sorry, not sorry. Lando looks like Max. Is this not, you know what? We just got to get right to it. Let's just get right to it. This situation, okay, a jump is a jump. A jump is a jump. In some forms of racing, especially street racing, you don't even have to move as much as Norris moved on the start. If they see the wrinkle in the tire, you jumped. You caused some type of reaction of forward momentum that is therefore found in the wrinkling of this tire. You're DQ'd. Norris moved the entire car forward. Forward. It is a jump. There is no gray area about this. If your car moves, especially in the amount that his car moves, you moved before it was time for everybody to go. That's a jump. How is it that he does not even get a penalty for this? Yet we got K-Mag getting 10 seconds for the situation with Albon, which wasn't that bad, but I understand. Give him some space. But 10 seconds? Okay. Then you give him another 10 seconds for a so-called overtake off track when he really wasn't off track, when he already had the overtake done. And it wasn't even, bro, what are we talking about right now? What are we talking about? How are they coming up with these decisions? Where are they coming up with these decisions? It is utterly, look at this. Look at this. He's already in front of Yuki when this happens. Jonathan Davis, welcome to the family. What's going on, Jonathan? Pull up, get you a chair, grab you something cool out the refrigerator. Welcome to the Wolfpack fam. He's off track just barely when it's already done. The move was already done. And you tally up 10 more seconds, which gives K-Mag 20 whole seconds of penalties, but Lando doesn't get one for jumping? Hey, y'all, I'm sorry. Listen, if y'all ever see me wear this cap, if you ever see me wear this signed Lando cap, guess what? It's because I'm capping. It's because I'm capping, and I'm probably going to jump your ass on anything I do. I'm probably going to jump because I'm not getting penalized. If you see me wear the papaya cap, I'm going to jump on your ass. That's what that's going to mean. A jump is a jump. And then, hold on, wait a minute. We got 5 seconds for Perez for, what, was that an unsafe release? But no penalty at all for Lando, who clearly jumped by all camera view and then was weaving in and out. What are we doing? How is that even happening? This right here goes to show us that once again, the FIA are consistently hella inconsistent in how to make judgment calls and or assess penalties. There's no way Lando shouldn't have had a penalty today. No effing way he shouldn't have had a penalty. No way. No way he should not have had a penalty today at all. So then let's get to this right here. Red Bull, 1 and 2. Perez, in some ways, doing what people would like for Perez to do in an RB19 and R20, and that is, don't necessarily beat Max, but you need to be second to Max. Baraka said it several times last season during F1 Minute. He should be second. By any forms of measure, no way, no how should Perez on a consistent week in, week out basis not be second to Max Verstappen. Galacticus, Max now has 100 podiums, 7 more. He passes Alonso. Man, I'm telling you, they going to get him there. That RB20 going to get him there, bro. As you see right here, Mercedes win counter is 0. Still 0 wins for Mercedes. Still 0 wins for Mercedes. Jesse James Bell, gotta say, how about them Chiefs? Okay, back to Jay. How about them Chiefs back to back? They gonna do the 4P, bro? They gonna do the 4P? I feel you, man. You gotta find something else to watch in these days and times of Mercedes just letting their fans down. But Red Bull 1 and 2. Let's look at Alpine. Gasly early DNF. Gasly early DNF. Gasly goes out early. To no fault of his own. To me, I didn't hear any further reports on it, but definitely seems like a mechanical issue. There's nothing he could have done about that. Outside of that, Alpine looks ridiculously bad. They look ridiculously bad. Now, Anthony Joshua in the garage, one of their investors, one of their owners, percentage owners, got his win just yesterday. I believe he fought Francis, got the win, 2 overhand rights. But let's not get it twisted. Anthony Joshua is really not that dude. He got his ass clipped by Ruiz. Okay? He's very suspect. Francis coming out, MMA, has done fairly well for what he's done in boxing. But that really didn't impress me with Anthony Joshua. I didn't really see Anthony Joshua take anything that really meant something to me. He's okay. But once again, Alpine pretty much knocked themselves out. So if Anthony Joshua had went out in the center of the ring after shaking hands or tapping gloves with Francis and then just knocked himself out, that would be a true representation of what Alpine is doing to their 2024 season. Paul says, no way the FIA are going to give Lando a penalty when it would benefit Lewis Hamilton, anything to keep him down. That is a solid point. That's a solid perspective. If we look at the timesheet, Lando Norris getting that penalty or those points would bring Lewis Hamilton up to 8th. Is that something that may be out there? Is that something that we could be talking about? Is that something that maybe could be happening? I don't think we can completely dismiss it. It's interesting. It does kind of line up with the positions. Maybe so. But it still is egregious any way you flip it or dice it. Because Lando clearly jumped. There's no question about it. There's a question about the overtake on track or off track by K-Mag on Yuki. Really, it really wasn't an overtake off track. He had the overtake done, went a little bit wide on the next turn, and still was in front. He was in front before that happened. Is there anything that can be debated about K-Mag and Albon? K-Mag could have gave a little bit more space, made contact with Albon. Wasn't really egregious. It can be debatable. There's no debate about Lando and his jump. It clearly was a jump. So how they don't make that call, but find a way to tally up all these other seconds and penalties on these other drivers is a little bit suspicious. And to me, would lend to Paul's perspective on this is why they didn't do it, Wolfpack. Alpine is sucking. All right, Alpine is sucking. The organization is sucking. Okay? Organization is sucking. Not only is the organization sucking, but let me tell you what else is sucking. The car development is sucking. And the drivers, not necessarily at this time am I saying they are sucking, but they're probably about to start doing something. If this continues through the rest of the year, attitudes are going to start flaring. Drivers are going to want to start knowing, why are we even racing if you can't even give us a decent car? Why are we even racing if you can't even fix this motherfucker right? That type of stuff will happen. That definitely will happen. I will say that, like I was saying about Perez, doing his thing, getting the second, I think that's what people want to see about him. I still do think it's something to be said that people are okay with Perez being second, but let's not BS. There was a little bit more negative clamor about Perez when he was in front of Max Verstappen, whether it was, he's a bum, he sucks, he shouldn't be there. But when he's second, it's okay. It's all right for him to be second, but he can't be first. And right there, Perez is where he wants. Now, on the other flip side of that coin, there is something to be said about if you're in the most dominant car and you're not second, what does that say about you? So, yeah, Perez now doing that. But wait a minute. We did see this last season. In the early part of the season, Perez was looking hot, looking pretty good to try. And then as the season progressed, shit just went off by the wayside. So still be on alert, be on the watch for that cliff. That cliff could come around the 8th round or so. So be on alert for that. Possibly even Miami, because I think last season is where he went in. He was about 6 points off of Max for tying or beating him in the Drivers' Championship. However it was going to be, he was within single-digit points, and that was Miami. So look for that in about the 6th or 7th round to happen, maybe before the 8th, if Perez hits his plateau and then just jumps off the cliff. We already talked about Burman. Burman is the man today. He is, like I said, if you're just coming in, Burman is my driver of the day. Young rookie coming into Formula One, not as much of a full weekend. I honestly am with Racer X210 right now. I'm honestly with him. I would like to see the young lad have a full weekend and see what happens because, like I told you all, Galacticus, Genie got 20 FM penalties today. Gene, hey man, he gonna call Gene, be like, man, Gene, I don't even know if he gonna make that call, tell Genie got 20. That sounds like somebody else that was in our racing series. Wrapped up 30 seconds worth of penalty points in our racing series. Yo, dude was so bad. 30 seconds of penalty points in one race he racked up. He racked up 30 seconds. I guess K-Mag was trying to do the best example or impression of one of the Wolfpack Racing Series drivers that is no more. 30 seconds of penalty points. No wonder you ain't going to be competing no more. You probably don't need to compete anymore. You racked up 30 seconds of penalty points. Probably had the most spin cams ever in the Wolfpack Series. But yeah, that's what K-Mag was doing. K-Mag was being that. So Burman, driver of the day, big shout out to you, bro. Keep doing your thing. Merck is looking like the best of the rest. Man, I'm not, listen. Okay, let's talk about this DG Big Blue Navy. Hoorah. I'm not even sure they looking like best of the rest. They not looking like best of the rest. To me, right, well, if you want to do constructor championship points, like if you want to go constructor championship points, right? if we do that, if that's where you're going, if that's the topic, constructor championship points, they would be the best of the rest. 2 points behind McLaren in 4th place, where Alpine was considered best of the rest in the season. What was that, 2022, I think? 2022? Best of the rest then, and then came back 2023 and kind of fell the hell off. So, yeah, if we look at it like that, yeah, best of the rest right now in constructor championship points. But me, looking at how they've been finishing, I ain't even really wanting to call them that. I'm more looking toward McLaren being that. Really, honestly, I need to see Mercedes. They can't even. They're not doing good. They're not doing good at all. They're not doing good. Mercedes right now is looking pretty awful in compare. Like, okay, let's in context, because people will take what I say. Oh man, no, listen. In perspective of what Mercedes was and where they can be, they're looking awful. They're still in the top 10, okay? And they're still 4th in the Constructor Championship points. And I know it's early. It's only the 2nd round. But they're still 4th. So they're still in the top 5 out of 10 teams. So they're average. Like DG Big Blue said, best of the rest, average, 4th position. So that's not awful in the grand scheme. But it's awful, especially for Mercedes fans and what Mercedes has done to be where they are. Mary Beanie, Jay, me and Merck are divorced. Me and Ferrari are in love. Hey, Mary Beanie, be careful. Be careful when you get out of one relationship. You got to be careful. You got to move a little bit. You got to move a little precautions before you move into that next relationship. Just take your time. You know what I'm saying? Heal your heart. Take a little bit of fresh air, get back to being you, and then pick the team that you want. Don't rush into another relationship. Your Wolfpack fam is here for you. You don't got to rush, okay? Somebody gonna love you, all right? Don't worry about it. Jesse James Bell. I recall back in the 80s, IMSA GP days, if a car became so dominant, they had to add weight. Hey, that's a solid one. As they did to the Audi 4-wheel drive GTO car, Hans stuck with the driver. Man, that's a solid one. That is a solid one. That's a perspective to consider as well. That's a perspective to consider. Galacticus. Merck got one more GP to show up or sit the F down. Galacticus is good for 3. He's good for 3. Now, I want to say it was Dodge Man that said he gonna give him 4 races from now. So he giving them to Miami to get their shit together. Oh, gee. Zilla. OG Dilla says Mercedes should have bought this concept out 2 years. Think about it. Think about it, OG. Had Mercedes been in somewhere of the vicinity of reality, things that could happen with their department, because evidently Adrian knew he can do it, but nobody at Mercedes could, they probably would be where a lot of people would think they could be at this point in time in the new era with these regulations. I'm totally agree with you. Gabriel Sanchez, let's go. Hey, Jay, I rented a W15 riding mower for my grass. Oh my gosh.